Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme. Rangers all set to unveil their new manager, Moussa Dembele wins Player of the Month, and Barcelona deliver one of the greatest European comebacks. Yeah, just a few of the talking points on the programme. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin. Our boot-room guest tonight is former Celtic winger Bobby Petta. Delighted to have Bobby with us as our countdown to the Old Firm game on Sunday continues. We'll also hear in this programme from the Hibs boss Neil Lennon ahead of a big championship showdown for Hibs at Tannadice against Dundee United, and we'll hear from the Dundee United boss Ray McKinnon too. So first to that top news story, Pedro Cagina. It looks as if the finances have been sorted out in Qatar, and he's all set to be unveiled as the Rangers manager, Ruffy, although probably he'll take a place in the stands for the game on Sunday.
Yeah, I think it'll be a massive lift for the Rangers players. I would like to think he would take a wee bit bigger step and go into the dugout. You know, obviously he's not going to pick the side, he doesn't know the players, but the presence of him actually in the dugout might help them. Well, it'll help them a lot better than him sitting up in the stand, obviously watching it. But again, it's his decision, and you know, we'll have to wait. And but I think the biggest thing is the players will get a lift.
Yeah, would it be helpful, you think, for the new manager to go into the dressing room and say a few words as a player, Bobby?
Yeah, why not? Especially this is a big game. And obviously, if he's in the stands, he has a good view of what's happening. So yeah, well, it would be ideal to just go downstairs in half time and say some things that they need to do.
Yeah. As far as Sunday's game, it looks as if Graham Murty is going to be in the dugout for the final time as the interim Rangers manager. Brendan Rodgers has been talking today about that possibility and about the young man's performance in the Rangers hot seat.
Players are professional enough to get on with it. Graham's obviously come in and done an excellent job. You know, it's not an easy situation at all when you're working with the younger players, and then you've got to step into the position when the manager goes. But he's gone in, he's got a wee taste of it, and I'm sure whichever way it works out for him, that he'll have benefited from it. So. And of course, coming to Celtic Park on Sunday, I'm sure he's looking forward to it. So, but no, it is what it is. The players have to be professional. They have to be focused, and I'm sure they'll be coming to get a good result.
Yep, so the Celtic manager getting his team ready for this one, and there's another bonus with Moussa Dembele picking up the Player of the Month for February. 8 goals in 4 games. He's been a sensation up here, Bobby.
It's been fantastic. I mean, the goals he's been scoring have been great. His movement is very good, and his finishing is quality. And I think the way he plays suits the way Celtic plays suits his style. And but a lot of players have grown since Brendan Rodgers took over, especially Armstrong. And Dembele is one of them. Sinclair, great addition to the squad as well. But Dembele is top notch.
Yeah, as far as this game's concerned, quite a lot of people talking about the possibility of Celtic running riot. Of course, you were in a Celtic team that did run riot in your first ever Old Firm game. How do you see this one shaping up?
I think it obviously has a Celtic win, but every game, every Old Firm is or Glasgow Derby, I should call it, is different. But I can't see Rangers winning. Just Celtic, and once again, if they start sharp and bright and do what they can do, then it should not be hard as it can be. It's all about the approach and how they started that particular game. But Celtic's got just too much class and quality than the opposition.
Yeah, and of course, we were talking about it yesterday, Ruffy, with Barry Ferguson. First goal could be key. First goal was key for you guys in that 6-2 win because it came so early and lifted the team.
Exactly. If you score very early, it especially at home, then it's in a game like that, it helps a lot. I mean, you seen it yesterday with Barcelona. You know, they're trailing 4-0, but the first goal goes in very quickly. It sets the tone for the rest to follow.
Yeah, is it a blow, Ruffy? Rob Kiernan has failed in his appeal for that 2-match ban. He'll miss Sunday's game.
Oh, that whether you rate him or not, you know, he's in the 11, you know, and he would have been in the 11. So, you know, you would think that he is going to be a miss, and obviously whoever's fit will have to come in and take that place. But I think that they're bigger positions than that one that Rangers have to sort out, you know, for the game at the weekend.
Okay, before we finish, we'll get your prediction on this one, Bobby. And the last time you were on this show, boy, did you nail the game between Celtic and Rangers at Hampden. Not only did you call the score, you obviously called that it was going to go to penalties and who would win that game. So we're hanging on your every word. Not because, obviously, we think you know that you're going to absolutely nail it this time around, but it's just to help Ruffy, because Ruffy's on a wee bit of a downer. Just basically because last night I witnessed one of the most incredible games I've ever witnessed. Now, your team, Paris Saint-Germain, Barry Ferguson was sitting there. We said to you, Barcelona are going to come back. They're going to win it. They're going to go through. You just doubted it, and I kept you updated, Ruffy, with the text. It was the most incredible game ever.
Yeah, and I was actually on a downer when the third one went in, but when Paris scored, obviously, I picked myself up and I said, that's it, away goal. There's no way that they're going to lose that amount of goals with the time remaining. And even when it went to 90 minutes, you know, you would have thought a team of that stature would be able to see out the game. But you have to give Barcelona credit for just keep going all the time. And we've been in that stadium. It's a wonderful stadium, and it just generates, you know, to keep going forward and keep, you know, scoring goals. But it was an incredible.
Yeah, and Bobby, have you ever witnessed a game like it in your life? Because they had so much class. I mean, more often than not we talk about Messi, but this was Neymar's finest hour and a half.
Yeah, I know it was a game that I didn't expect it to happen at all. I don't think Messi was in the game a lot. It was more Neymar. He did annoy me a bit because of the fact that he's trying to get fouls, etc. But the free kick, the penalty, his final assist for the 6th goal, he just took the reins really and showed initiative. Said, no, I'm gonna take this team and I'm gonna do what I can to get this goal. And it was a phenomenal performance by the whole team. The amount of pressure they done for 75 minutes, they really put pressure until Paris Saint-Germain scored that goal, and then it fell away a bit. But as soon as they got that goal from the free kick, they start pressing, and it was phenomenal to see. I mean, who would have thought in 3 minutes to score 2 goals? I mean, come on, Champions League 2 against Paris Saint-Germain, they're not easy targets anyway. So
yeah,
it's a fantastic result, and to watch that, it's kind of like a privilege too, you know.
Yeah.
The boy was telling me this morning, obviously in the bet, and if you bet at the fixed odds, when Barcelona scored the first goal, you could have got 20-1 Barcelona to score 6.
20-1
at the first goal.
Yeah, I think that's. I think it's what we call hardened gamblers who start putting bets on at that stage, Ruffy. But it was incredible, and of course the photograph. I think if we could add any kind of audio to this, it would be all of the guys just waving to you, Ruffy. You know, this is Luis Suarez's tweet from the dressing room, and again, you never forget. You know, those guys will never forget that game for as long as they live, and we come up with 4 or 5 games, Ruffy, that I think you're talking about comebacks. I mean, Manchester United, the comeback in the new camp against what do you call it, Bayern Munich was phenomenal. I'm thinking of Borussia Dortmund against Liverpool at Anfield. Liverpool come back 4-3. There's been a few crackers. I was at one at Fir Park, 6-6 between Motherwell and Hibernian as well, which was outrageous.
Yeah.
Can you recall any?
Yeah, you were going to mention the Liverpool one in Istanbul. I think that game looked done and dusted until they got their act together. But it must have been a tremendous night, particularly for the home fans, you know, and you saw how delighted they were. But I mean, they get that every week at Barcelona, 6 goals. So.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. And Phil Marr stood in Fairland because they managed to defeat Valencia by 6-2. That was the record up until last night. They sent Barcelona a congratulatory tweet and said any chance of a friendly just to commemorate it. Which I think Phil Marsden Fairland, absolutely top drawer. So that was another one. And I was trying to think, you mentioned Istanbul, maybe Germany, France. performance. I don't know if you remember Schumacher taking out Batista on Ruffy.
Yes, I do remember that clearly. That game looked done and dusted as well.
Okay, great comebacks. You can add any that you want at Peter and Ruffy if you want on Twitter and Facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy as well. More from Bobby Petta after the break. We thought we'd pay our own tribute in the question to Luis Enrique. Well, he has mentioned, Ruffy, that he feels tired and he's going to call it a day at the end of the season. I think he can call it a day with his head held high on that result. I mean, do you think they're now favourites to win the Champions League on that performance, or could somebody else derail them?
Not in that form. You know, if you were going to tell me they were going to improve their away form yet. But in a home form, I think anybody going there now will expect an absolute battering. So if you are, you've got them away from home first, you better have a decent lead, because you know now that they have the quality to beat anybody at home.
Yep, absolutely top draw from Barcelona. One of the greatest games that I've ever witnessed. And I think I speak for myself and Bobby Petta and many others who were actually just jumping up and down in their living room with no one else in that living room and not caring if the neighbours were looking at you through the window. That's what football does to you. Anyway, on to another showdown of sorts in the Championship, no less, because Dundee United against Hibernian, Ruffy. This one, I think, could settle a lot of nerves at Easter Road if they can get a result up there at Tannadice.
Yeah, if they were to get a result, obviously they go further clear and the confidence would be there. But as we've spoke about it on numerous occasions, with Hibs there are occasional games when they don't produce the goods, and particularly away from home. So that'll be something he'll be hoping they can change. But he's certainly got the players. He'll be scratching his head at why and how it happens, because when they're on their game, they're very, very difficult to beat.
Yep, the one key word here that many a manager uses is consistency, according to Neil Lennon.
$1 million question. I think it's just a case of the players, applying themselves a little bit more. They've really been spectacular in the last 2 cup games, so I know they can reach those levels, and hopefully a fixture like tomorrow night will bring out the best in them again. I think we went 8 games without a win last season, and we can't repeat that, otherwise we're going to struggle. So we're 4 at the minute, so we need to nip it in the bud as quickly as possible. So best time to do it would be tomorrow night.
Right now, you look at the performance against Hearts in the Cup. In the league, I wouldn't put a bet on them at all, Bobby, because you never know what you're going to get sometimes with Hibs, even although they're ahead and they have that cushion.
Yeah, I know. This is right what Lenny says as well, as consistency, because in those big games, you don't need to be motivated even extra. It's just away from home. You need to have that consistency. You want to make sure that in every game you play now, you're only going to make it harder for yourself if you don't apply yourself in a game that you've been playing as a group very, very well. Focus has got to be there, and no complacency. Lenny doesn't like losing, but he wants effort, and he doesn't accept it if you do it one game and then the next game you don't. There's no reason why you shouldn't. You're professionals, and you need to give it all you got, and with the quality they have, they're on the top for a reason. So if they can get the consistency going, they will make the gap even bigger, and they'll be champions.
This is the key game, Ruffy, as Bobby mentioned there. They've got to produce a performance similar to some of their earlier season form. Do you envisage them winning this game?
No, as Bobby said, they have the ability to raise their games for the big sides. They are the teams that they've been beaten quite comfortably. It's when they play against the teams down the bottom of the league, whether their standards drop a wee bit, they get complacent. But certainly in the big games, as we saw with Hearts, that they've turned it on. And I think if he was to go up there and even take something out of the game, you don't want them closing the gap at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did go up there and win.
Yep, okay. What about Dundee United? Well, despite, of course, the huge blow, if Hibs were to get a result up there at Tannadice, it would give them the cushion and set them up as clear favourites to wrap it all up. But Dundee United manager Ray McKinnon is having none of that. He's gone for the old cliche, it ain't over until it's mathematically impossible for United to catch them.
Well, it's never over until it's over. I think that's the way we've got to look at it. We just want to win every single game. I don't look at their past form in the last 4 games, but it just tells me that this is a very competitive league. I've said that from day one. You've seen St Mirren beat them, bottom of the league. How St Mirren played against Celtic, Wraith against Hearts. This is a very, very competitive league, and it's still wide open, I think. And if we can win on Friday, it certainly makes things interesting.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder if they'd shown the consistency that Neil Lennon was looking for from Hibs. There have been more than a few occasions, Ruffy, when I've thought Dundee United could make a real charge here, and it's kind of it hasn't materialised.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on what players you've got at your disposal. You'll have a lot of young boys in that Dundee United side who haven't been in this position before, of getting into games and having to win them, instead of just trying to pick up points here and there. So the pressure's on now, and it depends what players you've got in your team, whether they've been through the scenario before, whether they're experienced players, they know how to deal with it, and games like this will let them know who these players are.
Yep, okay, prediction?
I'm going to go 2-1 Hibs.
Bobby Petta?
I think it'll be a draw, 2-2.
Yep, okay, and with that serious look on your face, Bobby, who are we to disagree with you? You're on a great run at the moment. I mean, I just can't see you fail. At the bottom end, Ruffy, in contrast, St Mirren really could have given themselves the ultimate shot in the arm against Wraith Rovers. In the end, John Hughes' side triumphed by 2-0.
Yeah, and another team were giving themselves breathing space, but it still is up there. There's still games to be played, games to be won, points to be taken, and I think even the bottom 5 there will still believe that it could go on some kind of run. They could bring other teams into it, but certainly as far as Wraith Rovers concerned, it gives them a lot more breathing space than what they had.
Yeah, I still get the gut feeling in the Championship that Jack Ross can produce the Great Escape to at least get to the playoff place. I don't know if you share that view. There's only 5 points, Bobby, between St Mirren and Ayr United, and I think that's always been Jack's target. Ayr United, never mind any other team.
Mm-hmm. But you just have to keep the focus going. It's tough. It is really tough. I mean, how many games are left to play?
11.
11. Right. It takes one game, one game at least, to kind of get the momentum going. And it's tough to be at the bottom. But you're a team, and if you can get everybody to kind of really work hard, because it's that particular, because things might go your way for the whole season. But it's one game could change things around, and if you're on a one win, another win, and then you can actually maybe go on the momentum where you actually get the points, and the opposition, the ones above you, will lose, and it will make it even get positive, and confidence goes up, and. You don't know. You raise a level that you know you were capable of, but you actually are there, and so you get them drive on. So it's about those results. Every result is, every game we play is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, I said 11 there, Ruffy. Obviously, the bottom end, St Mirren and Ayr United have got 12. Mm-hmm. They've got a game in hand. But I still think the key issue here that I've said to you on countless occasions, St Mirren at home to Ayr and Dumbarton, I think could be a huge benefit to them.
Yeah, obviously, if you get a home game, against the teams round about you, and it's okay saying, and you've got the home game, but you've got to win it. You've got to win it, and you've got to win both of them, to keep yourself in the run, because one win from either of the two of them, it just makes the gap even harder to close. So, as Bobby said, you need, at the end of the season, to drum up some kind of winning run, and we all know that if you can get 2 or 3 wins back to back, it certainly helps.
Yep, absolutely. Just a couple of little things to finish, Ruffy. Peter Pollitt has, intimated that he's going to join MK Dons in the summer. He thinks the time is right for him to head down to England and play his football.
That's another indication of young players, you know, thinking that there's a better deal down south. Financially, it probably is. You know, I don't think he has kicked on at Aberdeen the way we all thought he would. So maybe he just sees it as another opportunity to start his career again.
Yep, okay. And the other aspect of this, and managers and players coming and going, there's a 5-man shortlist for Motherwell, which they hope to conclude early next week, Ruffy, to get their man Stephen Robinson will just continue what he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll be in the running as well. I'm sure he'd thrown his name into the hat. But interesting to see that Lee McCulloch is obviously mentioned as well, which I find a strange one. That's obviously because obviously Lee's not had anything at Kilmarnock, you know, and but again, you know, it'll be interesting to see who the other guys are in that list.
Yeah, I think the connection, obviously, since he started out there at Motherwell as well, an old boy coming back could be the link there. But we will wait to see what Lee McCulloch's decision is as well. We'll continue our countdown to the big game on Sunday and look at the other matches on the Saturday as well. Thanks very much to Bobby Petta for giving us his take. Ruffy and I are off to the bookies because he's very rarely wrong. Thanks for watching. Good night.